Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 21st July 2025. This premium video is available to all the members. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports generated by the NeoStock software. Even before that, please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. All the training lessons are already available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. To access all the training lessons, click on the tab post, or even in the playlist also. From the playlist also you can access. Once you click on the tab post, you get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that is having all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are into supply demand zone price action course. Here you have all the training lessons are available. To access the first lesson, scroll the list to bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one, but according to my training instructions. I provided all the training instructions at our Telegram channel. I also provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. Go to the video description, join at our Telegram channel. So in the previous messages, you can find all the training instructions, or even in the pinned messages also, you can find the training instructions. If you learn this course according to my training instructions, then it will be helpful to you to become a very good independent trader in the coming days. Please make use of this opportunity. Okay, now I am going to generate different supply demand zone reports with the help of NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Analysis Strategy Builder. So first I am going to generate finding the stocks near daily and 75 minutes demand and supply zones, so that we can identify high liquidity zones. Those high liquidity zones you can use as per the high liquidity zone strategy you learned in lesson 21.3 video. And also remember, when I am generating the reports, I am giving you very few seconds time when you are moving from one report to another report, so that I request you pause the video, study those reports, and then move on to the next reports. Please remember this point. Okay, starting with the daily time frame, stocks near to the daily demand zone, we got 7 stocks. Those who don't understand the structure of this report, I request you complete the training lesson 21.1 video. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations in detail. Okay, let us identify daily high liquidity demand zones from this list. For that, you should always look into the zone column to find the high priority high liquidity zones. Because as I explained in lesson 21.3 video, only you have to use high priority high liquidity zones for HLQ zone strategy. So BPCL is having a high priority high liquidity daily demand zone. That's it. You have only one high liquidity zone from this list. You can use it for your HLQ zone strategy as you learned in lesson 21.3 video. Okay, next, for daily time frame, let us find the stocks near to the daily supply zone. So we got 9 stocks. Let us identify daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Kotak Bank is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. Prestige is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. It is also having daily high liquidity demand zone. So because both zones are high liquidity, in this is a special scenario. In such kind of scenario, you may get trade opportunity either side. That is the advantage you are having. Okay, anyway, it is stock near to the daily supply zone. That's it. We identify two daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone. We got 9 stocks. So let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones from this list. Asian Paint is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. Indian Hotel is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. State Bank of India is also having 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. So total 375 minutes high liquidity demand zones from this list. Stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone. Okay, next for 75 minutes time frame, stocks near to the 75 minutes supply zone. We got 22 stocks. So let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. Nifty Next 50 is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. HDFC Bank is not valid because it is a pierced zone. Pierced zones can't be used for HLQ zone strategy. Next one is Tata Consumer. That's it. We got only 275 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. One is Nifty Next 50, as you have seen here. And the second one is Tata Consumer, as you have seen in this. So total 275 minutes high liquidity supply zones we identified. So this is about high liquidity zone identification from daily and 75 minutes time frames. Next, I will generate Nifty and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain reports. Let's start with Nifty. Monthly time frame. I am generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. So this is Nifty monthly supply demand zone chain report. In any supply demand zone chain report, always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. Always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. You already learned one time frame higher is ITF and one more time frame higher is HTF. And also don't forget to pause the video when you are moving from one report to another report, because I am giving you very few seconds time to watch the reports. Okay, next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. The nearest demand zone to the current closing price is at serial number 28. Similarly, nearest supply zone to the current closing price, serial number 27. So what I do, I will keep this serial number 28 in the middle of the page so that you can get equal number of demand and supply zones from the current closing price. Okay. So this is the Nifty 5-minute supply demand zone chain report. So with this we have completed Nifty supply demand zone chain generation. Next we will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain reports. So I am going back, changing the name to Nifty Bank. That is nothing but Bank Nifty. So I am generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, I am generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, I am generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, I am generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, I am generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, I am generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. So this is about Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain reports. So we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain generation. Next, I will generate sideways, bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. Okay, starting with monthly income trade, sideways long trade setup. Entry time frame should be daily. Entry zone should be demand zone. In bullish or bearish or sideways trade setup parameter at entry time frame daily, I am selecting sideways long, and then zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. This is the first filter applied on the daily demand zone. Next, minimum odd enhancer score should be 11 for sideways and 12 for bullish or bearish. So this is the second filter we are applying on the daily demand zone. Third filter, peers count, I am not applying for daily time frame. Below time frames we will use, because the daily time frame, any peers zones, you can use peers zone strategy that you learned in lesson 28. Okay, with these filters, because both these filters are applied to daily demand zone, we got 6 stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for daily income trade. For monthly income trade. Entry time frame is daily demand zones. All these daily demand zones are supporting sideways long trade setup. If you look into some of these zones, See, they are already tested. That means from your previous earlier reports, they might have given you trade opportunities. If you look into the old reports, in the old reports, if these zones test count is less value, probably you would have got those trade opportunities from the previous reports. And some of these zones you will be getting trade opportunities in the coming days. Okay, next, the sideways short trade setup for monthly income trade. The changes are daily supply zone, a daily time frame, another change, sideways short trade setup. Now this time both these filters are applied to daily supply zone. Let's filter. We got two stocks. Sideways short trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame is daily supply zone. We got two stocks. And next report is the bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. So I'm going back. The changes are daily demand zone. And here at daily time frame, I'm selecting bullish. And third change is the minimum odd enhanced score should be 12. Because bullish or bearish trade setups, minimum odd enhanced score should be 12. Let's filter. This time both these filters are applied to daily demand zone. Let's filter. We got 20 stocks. First 17 stocks in the list. Monthly income trade for bullish trade setup. In all these stocks, entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. So like that, first 17 daily demand zones. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. Total 20 stocks are filtered. All these 20 daily demand zones are supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame zones are all these daily demand zones. Out of these 20 daily demand zones, there could be some high probability trade setup supported zones might be available. So how to find them? For that you land high probability trade setup identification strategies in lesson 27. Based on the zone confluence and EMA confluence, all the strategies I explained. So let us apply those strategies. So first strategy I am applying, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is, LTF is daily, ITF is weekly in monthly income trade. So the daily demand zone should overlap with weekly demand zone. That means daily demand zone should be part of the weekly demand zone. First we will identify. After that weekly demand zone, we will further filter with weekly EMA confluence. Once you apply weekly EMA confluence, the listed stocks might be having more high probability to get success. Okay, first filter I am applying on these 20 stocks, demand zone confluence. So in the demand zone confluence parameter, I am applying the filter daily demand zone and weekly demand zone confluence. That means daily demand zone should overlap with weekly demand zone. And this filter is applied on those 20 stocks what you have seen in the previous screen. See, now the list is come down to 16 stocks. In all these 16 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zones. That means daily demand zone is part of weekly demand zone. That's why we are checking weekly EMA confluence on weekly demand zone. Okay, let's further apply EMA confluence filter on these stocks, weekly EMA confluence. So in the EMA confluence parameter at weekly time frame, I am checking weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence or not. Because weekly trend is uptrend in all the stocks. ITF trend is always uptrend in the bullish trade setup. That is what you learn. Let's filter. See, weekly trend is uptrend in all the stocks. And in all these stocks, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. In that weekly demand zone, our daily demand zones are overlapped. That's why these daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. That is what you learned in lesson 27 strategies. But remember, all these zones might be having high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items should be satisfied in all these stocks. If any of these stocks, lesson 20 checklist items are not satisfied, there are higher chances these zones might be violated. So that's why always you should not forget lesson 20 checklist items. Without applying lesson 20 checklist items, you should not trade on these zones. But otherwise, these zones might be having more high probability to get success. Maybe that is the reason why see some of these zones already gave multiple trades already opportunities. In future they may give you or they may be violated, but some of these zones are fresh zones. That's why I'm saying lesson 20 checklist items satisfy, you may get trade opportunities on these zones. Otherwise, there are higher chances zones might be violated. So these 11 are high probability trade setup supported zones based on the daily and weekly demand zone confluence and weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence strategy. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. That is a daily, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence supported stocks. So I'm going back, removing EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF. So first we will focus on the zone confluence. So LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter already in the previous report we enabled. That is daily demand zone and weekly demand zone confluence already enabled. So next filter is daily demand zone and even monthly demand zone confluence. Not only daily confluence with weekly and monthly, even weekly also should overlap with monthly demand zone. That's why I'm adding one more filter, weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. If you set all the filters, daily, weekly and monthly, all 3 demand zones are overlapped with each other. Let's filter. Now we got 5 stocks. In all these 5 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with the weekly demand zone, both together again overlapped with monthly demand zone. See, all 3 are overlapped with each other. But we can further filter based on monthly EMA confluence. EMA confluence does not work in sideways. That's why monthly trend is sideways. You have to ignore this. In remaining 4 stocks, uptrend stocks, let's verify if any of the monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence. In that case, the overlapped daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am checking monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence or not. At the same time, the trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down, but this is a bullish trade setup. Let us select uptrend. Because bullish trade, we don't get downtrend. Because it is bullish trade setup. Let's filter. See, out of 4 uptrend stocks, 3 are filtered on weekly. But these daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. See, maybe that is the reason why these 2 are already tested twice, this is already tested once. If any of these stocks are listed in the earlier reports, you might have already got trade opportunities. If lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied, again further these zones may give you trade opportunities. That's why always you should validate with lesson 20 to check whether any further trade opportunities are available in these zones. Okay. So this is about bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next we will look into bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. So entry time frame should be daily for monthly income trade. Entry zone should be supply zone for bearish trade setup, and also in bullish or bearish or sideways trade setup parameter at entry time frame daily we have to select bearish. And zone achievement should be violated opposing zone, and minimum odd and hands score should be 12 for bullish or bearish. Now both these filters are applied on the daily supply zone. Let's filter. We got two stocks, only two stocks supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. Let's verify the high probability trade setup related scenarios in both these zones. As you already discussed in the bullish trade setup, similarly here also the rules are applied but on the supply zones. First filter is a daily and weekly supply zone confluence. So in the supply zone confluence filter, I am enabling the filter daily supply zone with weekly supply zone. That means daily supply zone should overlap on the weekly supply zone. Let us apply on both the stocks. Now both are filtered. That means in both these stocks, these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is a downtrend. ITF is weekly. LTF is daily. HTF is monthly. Okay, because daily supply zone overlapped with weekly supply zone, that is what supply zone confluence, the search filter. What we can do, we can further verify if any of these weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence. In that case, the overlapped daily supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, at weekly time frame, I am checking weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence because weekly trend is downtrend. So both are filtered. That means both these daily supply zones are having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. How many of these stocks will be filtered? Let us verify out of these two. I am removing EMA filter because it is ITF specific. In the supply zone confluence, three filters I have to set. First one is already enabled, daily and weekly supply zone confluence. Next filter is the daily and monthly supply zone confluence. And third filter is weekly and monthly supply zone confluence. With all the three filters, we got two stocks. So both are again filtered. That means these daily supply zones not only overlapped with weekly supply zone, both together again overlapped with monthly supply zone. The only thing is monthly trend is sideways. So we are not checking monthly supply zone with monthly EMA. But anyway, we have weekly supply zone with weekly EMA is there. Both are satisfied. And also having HTF confluence also. That way these two zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items should be satisfied. That is very, very important. You can't take trades without verifying less than 20 checklist, whatever I explained in less than 20 video. Okay, this is about monthly income trade. Similarly, we can generate weekly income trade, daily and hourly. But I will reduce my commentary because I gave you a detailed commentary here. Wherever I required, in the remaining I will give. Remaining I will try to quickly generate. Okay, now we are going to generate weekly income trade reports. For weekly income trade, entry time frame is 75 minutes. First I am going to generate a bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Should be demand zone, 75 minutes demand zone, entry time frame. So bullish trade setup at 75 minutes, I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd and enhanced score 11. And third filter we are adding on this 75 minutes demand zone. This is the first one, second one. And third one is 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. From now onwards, we don't accept pierced zones. So that's why to identify the zone is not pierced, in the pierced count at 75 minutes entry time frame zone, you need to set minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count value is 0. Pierced count value 0 means zone is not pierced. Which zone? 75 minutes demand zone, because all the filters we are applying on the 75 minutes demand zone. So let's verify. We got two stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zone. So always verify. See, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. Okay, this is sideways long trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, sideways short trade setup for weekly income trade. Changes are 75 minutes supply zone and here sideways short. This time all the three filters are applied to 75 minutes supply zone. We got only one stock. Entry time frame is 75 minutes supply zone. So this is already tested 4 times. But how to check whether it will work or not? You have to apply lesson 20 checklist items to validate this zone. Probability of getting success. Okay, this is about sideways long trades, sideways short trade setup. Sideways short. Next, we will look into bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. So the changes are 75 minutes demand zone and here bullish at 75 minutes. And now third change, minimum odd enhancer score should be 12. Okay, now all the three filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. Let's filter. We got 9 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. So total 9 stocks we got. Okay, out of these 9, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the different zone confluence strategies. As I explained already in monthly income trade, a detailed explanation. Now I will reduce that detailed commentary. So first filter is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. By enabling this filter on those 12 stocks, we got 7 stocks. In all the 7 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone, and daily trend is ITF trend is uptrend. So let's further filter with daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence. Inside daily 75 minutes demand zone is overlapped. So I'm going back, enabling the EMA filter on daily time frame by checking daily demand zone with daily EMA, and also daily trend is uptrend in all the stocks. So we got 4 stocks. So these 4 daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. That is very important. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. 75 minutes daily and weekly demand zone confluence supported stocks. So I'm going back, removing a EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled, 75 and daily demand zone confluence. Next, 75 and weekly demand zone confluence, daily and weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, the 75 minutes, daily and weekly demand zones are overlapped with each other. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks. So these 2 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with the daily demand zone, both together again overlapped with weekly demand zone. But weekly trend is uptrend in only one stock. Let's apply EMA Confluence on this stock. So in the EMA Confluence weekly time frame, I am checking weekly demand zone having weekly EMA or not. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways, because one stock sideways we have to eliminate. But trend should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So that one stock is filtered. That way, this 75 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items should satisfy. Otherwise, there are higher chances zone might be violated. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. Here bullish or bearish at 75 minutes, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated, opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhancer score 12. And also 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. 75 minutes supply zone, because filters will be applied on whatever the values you select here. Now we got 5 stocks. These 5 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes supply zones. Out of these 575 minute supply zones, there could be some high probability trade setup supported supply zones. 75 minute supply zones might be available. We need to find them. So we will filter different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies, what we discussed in the monthly income trade. Similarly here, weekly income trade, bearish trade setup, the first filter is in the supply zone confluence. 75 minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. That is LTF, ITF supply zone confluence. Applying on those 5 stocks, all 5 are filtered. That means in all the 5 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And the weekly trend is a downtrend in all the stocks. ITF is weekly. So we can further filter this list based on weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, so that the overlapped 75 minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success. So let's verify. In the EMA confluence, a daily time frame, because 75 minute supply zone overlapped with daily supply zone, so we are checking daily supply zone having daily EMA. At the same time, daily trend is a downtrend. So 3 stocks are filtered. That way, these 3 daily supply zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items should satisfy. Otherwise, higher chances zones might be violated. Otherwise, these are the high probability trade setup supported 75 minute supply zones. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. That is 75 minutes daily and weekly supply zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing this EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF. So first we will focus on the supply zone confluence for all the 3 time frames. So 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, 75 on daily supply zone confluence. Next 75 on weekly supply zone confluence, daily and weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. In both these stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone, both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. But weekly trend is down in only one stock. Let's verify whether this weekly supply zone having weekly EMA or not. In that case, daily supply zone overlapped with this weekly supply zone might be having better high probability to get success. Let's verify. In the EMA Confluence at weekly time frame, I'm checking weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence or not. At the same time, trend on the weekly time frame should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. Let's filter. So that one stock is filtered. That way this 75-minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise there are higher chances this zone might be violated. So this is about the bearish trade setup for a weekly income trade. Okay, we have completed weekly income trade report generation. Next we will look into daily income trade reports. In daily income trade, entry time frame is 15 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone for sideways long trade setup, and also in bullish or bearish sideways trade setup parameter. At 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting sideways long. And three filters we should apply on 15 minutes demand zone. The first one is zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. The second one is a minimum order enhanced score should be 11 for sideways. And third one, 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter, at 15 minutes time frame, that is entry time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count is 0. Pierced count means 0, the zone is not pierced. Which zone? Whichever the zone, this filter is applied. So where we are applying the filter, 15 minutes demand zone. So 15 minutes demand zone is not pierced, should not be pierced. Let's filter. All three filters will be applied on the 15 minutes demand zone. We got 4 stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. 4 stocks we got. Okay, next sideways short trade setup for daily income trade. The changes are 15 minutes supply zone and one more change, sideways short. Now all the 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Entry time frame zones are 15 minutes supply zones. If this stock would have been listed in the earlier reports, some of you might have already got trades from this zone. But remember, lessons 20 checklist items should satisfy. Otherwise, zones might be violated. Okay, next let us look into bullish trade setup for daily income trade. The changes are 15 minutes demand zone and also here bullish, and one more minimum order enhanced score should be 12. Now all the filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. Let's filter. We got 12 stocks. All these 12 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. So total we got 12 stocks. Okay, out of these 12, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies. First filter we are applying on these 12 stocks is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence supported stocks out of these 12. So in the demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter 15 minutes demand zone and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. By enabling the filter, The filter will be applied on the 12 stocks. Now we got 10 stocks out of 12, 10 are filtered. That means in all these 10 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones, all these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And also the 75 minutes trend is uptrend in all these stocks. So you can further filter this list based on 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence or not. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I'm checking 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA or not. Because 15 minutes demand zone is overlapped inside 75. So 3 stocks are filtered. So that way these two 15 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. Provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. That is very, very important. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. That is 15 minutes, 75 minutes and daily. All three demand zones should overlap with each other. So let's verify. I'm removing EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we should focus on HTF. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. Second filter is HTF, third and HTF confluence. So 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence, 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. That means all 3 time frame demand zones overlapped with each other. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks. In both these stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones overlapped with 75. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. See, that's why 9 tests here, 2 tests here. Okay. So HTF trend is uptrend in only one stock. HTF means daily. So let's check if this daily demand zone having daily EMA or not. If that is the case, overlapped 15 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success. So in the EMA confluence, a daily time frame, we are checking daily demand zone having daily EMA or not. At the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. It can be up or down, but it is a bullish trade setup. I'm selecting up, bullish trade setup. Let's verify. One stock is filtered. That means this 15 minutes demand zone having more high probability to get success, because 15 minutes demand zone overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone, both together overlapped with the daily demand zone. The daily demand zone is having daily EMA and also daily trend is uptrend. See all these parameters. That's why this is most high probability trade to get success. Maybe that is the reason why, see, this zone is already tested 9 times. Definitely earlier reports might have listed this stock, previous reports. So previous reports, when you look into this, those who analyzed, you would have already got good trades. If lesson 20 checklist items satisfy, you may further look for more trade opportunities. Remember, lesson 20 checklist items should satisfy. Otherwise, higher chances zone might be violated. At the same time, this is a high liquidity zone. Okay, this is a bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, let us look into bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Entry zone, supply zone. Bullish or bearish or sideways at 15 minutes. I am selecting bearish zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum odd and enhancer score 12. and also 15-minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 15 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Now all the three filters are applied to 15-minute supply zone. So we got 7 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15-minute supply zones. Out of these 7 15-minute supply zones, some of these supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. Let us filter them based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies. So first filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence, that is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. They should overlap with each other. Let us apply on the 7 stocks. So in the supply zone confluence, I am enabling the filter 15-minute supply zone with 75-minute supply zone confluence. By enabling the filter, now all 7 are filtered. That means in all the 7 stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. And 75-minute trend is downtrend in all the stocks. So we can further filter based on the EMA confluence. Let's verify. The EMA confluence at some, because 15 minutes overlapped with 75, so we have to check 75-minute supply zone having daily EMA or not. The filtered stocks have 75-minute supply zone having 15-minute supply zone. That way those 15-minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. Let's verify. We got 3 stocks. So these 3 75-minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. Provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. That is very, very important. Okay. Next, let us look into LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. That is 15 minutes, 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence supported stocks. Going back, removing this ITF EMA filter. Now we should focus on HTF. First, let us filter zone confluence stocks for all the 3 time frames. First filter is already enabled, 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. Next 15 minutes and daily supply zone confluence, 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, that is 15 minutes, 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence, we got 6 stocks. In all the 6 stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in 3 stocks out of 6. Let's verify. These 3 daily supply zones are having daily EMA or not. In the EMA confluence at daily time frame, I am checking daily supply zone having daily EMA or not. At the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. It can be up or down, but I am selecting down because it is bearish trade setup. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks out of 3 having a downtrend. 2 are filtered. That way these 2 15-minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, the zones might be violated. So this is about bearish trade setup for daily income trade. So we have completed daily income trade reports. Next, I will generate daily hourly income trade reports. Hourly income trade entry time frame is 5 minutes. Okay, for hourly income trade, sideways long trade setup, entry time frame is 5 minutes. Entry zone is demand zone. Here bullish, bearish, sideways at 5 minutes. I'm selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhanced score 11 for sideways, and also 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 5 minutes time frame, I'm setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone pierced count is 0. That means zone is not pierced. Which zone? 5 minutes demand zone, because filter will be applied on this. All the 3 filters will be applied on 5 minutes demand zone. After that, we got 5 stocks. These 5 stocks are supporting sideways long trade setup for hourly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. So total we got 5 stocks. Long trade setup. Sideways long trade setup. Next, sideways short trade setup. The changes are 5 minutes supply zone and also sideways short. Now all filters are applied to 5 minutes supply zone. We got 3 stocks, and entry time frame zones are 5 minutes supply zone. Okay, next, bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. The changes are 5 minutes demand zone. Here bullish, and zone achievement should be 12. I mean, the minimum odd enhanced score should be 12. Zone achievement always we was at. We got 5 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. Let's verify out of these 5 stocks, any high probability trade setup, 5 minutes demand zones are available. First one is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone Confluence. I am enabling the filter, applying on the 5 stocks. We got 4 stocks are filtered. In these 4 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. And the 15 minutes trend is uptrend in all the stocks. We can further filter based on EMA Confluence on the 15 minutes demand zone. Checking a 15 minutes demand zone with daily EMA or not. We got 1 stock. That way, this demand zone, 5 minutes demand zone, might be having better high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist item should satisfy. Otherwise, zone might be violated. Next, we will look into LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone Confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter, demand zone Confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled. Next, 5 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone Confluence. With all 3 filters, we don't have any stocks. So that means we don't have any LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone Confluence. So we don't set EMA also. Next, we will look into bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone supply zone. Here bullish or bearish at 5 minutes. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhanced score 12. And also 5 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count should be 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. Which zone? 5 minutes supply zone. Let's filter. We got 9 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 5 minutes supply zones. So out of these 9 stocks, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on different zone Confluence and EMA Confluence strategies. First filter is 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone Confluence. I am enabling the filter by setting the filter. We got 8 stocks. In all the 8 stocks, these 5 minutes supply zones are overlapped with 15 minutes supply zone. And also 15 minutes trend is downtrend. So we can further filter based on 15-minute supply zone having daily EMA Confluence. So I'm going back, EMA Confluence at 15 minutes time frame. I'm checking 15-minute supply zone with the daily EMA Confluence. Let's filter. So none of the stocks are having EMA Confluence. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Remove EMA filter. Supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes. Already we enabled 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone confluence. Next 5 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. That means in all the 4 stocks, these 5-minute supply zones overlapped with 15-minute supply zone. Both together overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. And 75-minute trend is a downtrend in 3 stocks out of 4. Let's verify those 3 75-minute supply zones are having any daily EMA confluence. 75-minute supply zone with daily EMA confluence we are verifying. At the same time, trend on the 75-minute supply zone should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. Let's filter. None of them are having EMA confluence. That means we don't have any high probability trade setup supported zones for hourly income trade, bearish trade setup. So with this we have completed all the income trades. Next, I will generate finding the stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames except daily and 75 minutes time frames because they are already generated in the beginning of the report. Okay, starting with yearly time frame, let me check any stocks near to the yearly demand zone. No stocks. Stocks near to the yearly supply zone, also no stocks. Next, price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. I think Crompton entered today, maybe. Next, price closed inside the yearly supply zone. No stocks. So next time frame is half yearly. Stocks near to the half yearly demand zone. No stocks. Near to the half yearly supply zone. Also no stocks. Price closed inside the half-yearly demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the half-yearly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Okay, next time frame is a quarterly. Stocks near to the quarterly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Next, stocks near to the quarterly supply zone, no stocks. Price closed inside the quarterly demand zone, we got 13 stocks. Let us further filter to find the better quarterly demand zones. Let us check EMA confluence. How many quarterly demand zones having quarterly EMA confluence? Let's verify. Quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA. At the same time, quarterly trend should not be sideways. That's why in the trend quarterly, I'm checking up or down, but not sideways. Now we got 8 stocks. All these 8 quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence. And in that quarterly demand zone, current price is closed. Lesson 28, I explained how to use these zones for finding our own trade setups. Okay, next quarterly price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 18 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. See, we got 3 stocks. These 3 quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA Confluence. Inside those quarterly supply zones, current price is closed. So this is about quarterly time frame. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near to the monthly demand zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, stocks near to the monthly supply zone, we got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone, we got 19 stocks. Out of these 19 monthly demand zones, how many are having EMA Confluence, monthly EMA Confluence? Let's verify. Monthly time frame, I'm checking monthly demand zone with monthly EMA Confluence. At the same time, trend on the monthly should not be sideways. Can be up or down. So with these filters, we got 9 stocks. So current price closed inside the monthly demand zone, and those monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA Confluence. Okay, next, price closed inside the monthly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 45 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on monthly supply zones having monthly EMA Confluence. Here monthly time frame, I'm checking monthly supply zone having monthly EMA or not. At the same time, trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So with these filters, we got 13 stocks. In these 13 monthly supply zones, current price is closed, and also these monthly supply zones are having monthly EMA Confluence. So this is about monthly time frame, and the next time frame is weekly. Entry stocks near to the weekly demand zone, we got 5 stocks. Next, stocks near to the weekly supply zone, we got 14 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone, first 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 28 stocks are filtered. Out of these 28, how many are having more high probability to get success? Based on the EMA Confluence. Let's verify. In the EMA and weekly, I'm checking weekly supply zone with weekly EMA, and also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Let's filter. We got 4 stocks. These 4 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA. Sorry, some mistake I made. Inside any demand zone. It should be demand zone. Weekly demand zone with weekly EMA. And trend on the weekly should not be sideways. So now we got 16 stocks. All these 16 weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. In that weekly demand zone, current price is closed. Okay, next, price closed inside the weekly supply zones. First 15 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 69 stocks are filtered. Out of these 69, how many weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence? Let us verify. Weekly supply zone with weekly EMA Confluence. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Now the list is reduced to first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 21 stocks are filtered. So current price is closed inside these weekly supply zones, and those weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. So this is about weekly time frame. Next time frame daily already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near to the 125 minutes demand zone, we got 10 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 125 minutes supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 23 stocks are filtered. Okay, next time frame 75 minutes already we generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near to the 25 minutes demand zone, we got 3 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 25 minutes supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Okay, the next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near to the 15 minutes demand zone, we got 7 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 15 minutes supply zone, we got 12 stocks. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near to the 5 minutes demand zone, we got 7 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 5 minutes supply zone, we got 11 stocks. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. And finally, let us generate the stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I'm scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there pause the video. Later on you can proceed further. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let us all meet again in our next video. Thank you.